Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. This is one that I was really excited to babble about. I know I say that quite frequently, but I've gotten a few of these other off the soundboard recordings that these guys have done. I'm talking about Kiss, and this is their newest release in this series they've been doing. I don't know, is this like number 6 or 7 or something like that they've done of these? But just like going back and finding these soundboard recordings of various concerts and stuff throughout their career. It's kind of scattered all over the place, actually, where they've been pulling them from. But the most recent one that they've done here now is in San Antonio, Texas, December 3rd of 1985. So this would have been their Asylum tour. And let me tell you, the one thing I like about these releases is that they don't hide anything. So it's a truly live concert, start to finish, off the soundboard. So you get like everything. They don't go back in and fix anything. The one weird thing that I have noticed about these, it's like soundboard recordings, is just one little oddity that I kind of just was thinking about as I was listening to this, is you don't hear much of the audience at all. So like the song ends and it's almost like barely hear anything. It's kind of like dead air, and it's kind of funny when like Paul Stanley is doing most of the banner between the crowd and whatnot. You hear some really strange stuff because there's like no response back really at all. So doing call and response stuff, it's kind of funny just not hearing anything. I think if maybe there was a way to bring that up, it would have been a little bit more, I don't know, not weird. If that's the way to describe something. But overall, I really enjoyed listening to it. I actually always enjoyed this. The last one I listened to, because I have skipped a couple of these, was the, which one was it? It was the Animalized tour. I can't remember what it was, but it was the Animalized one. And I thought that one was pretty cool, although there were some songs that were, I don't know what happened when they were recording it. They had to cut out a few bits and pieces here and there, but, this one's complete, so I was actually kind of excited about that, and I don't have to worry about any weird edits. At least nothing I noticed in here. It seems like they're all complete. But the one other thing about this show, because it's funny, because I had watched the Animalized one, that was on MTV or something. I'd watched that one a long time ago, back when I was young, and it had a great flow. Kulick had just taken over. Was it Mark St. John was having issues, and like Bruce Kulick had just taken over. I don't think he was an official member at this point, I don't think. And they did that whole thing. It's actually on YouTube now. I've watched the whole concert where they have the entire concert instead of just the edited for TV one. And that was kind of fun to go back and watch that, because I hadn't watched it in many years. And I really enjoyed it. Crazy costumes and all. And I don't mean the makeup, I mean the 80s. But it was enjoyable to watch again. And, the Bruce Kulick years is kind of where I came to know the band. Like the first thing I really ever heard of Kiss was Shout It Out Loud. I'd won a little 45 of the band when I was a kid, throwing a football through a tire or something like that, and you won a prize, and that was one of the things that I won, and I just remember listening to that a lot. But the first album I ever got was actually Look It Up. And I just remember that being a lot heavier than I expected it to be. And that is represented on here a little bit. But then from that point on, I kind of got into the solo albums, like Ace Frehley's solo album, and weird stuff from that. But the first time I saw Kiss actually live was on the Hot in the Shade tour. The first time I ever saw Kiss, I was standing on the side of the stage on the monitor board side, because I was actually working for Whitesnake for a very short period of time, helping with doing the monitor sound for them. And Kiss opened up for Whitesnake. It was up in Ontario on some racetrack. I can't remember the year exactly, 89, 90, somewhere in that ballpark. So that was actually the first time I actually got to see Kiss. It was a really weird experience having Steve Vai standing right next to me watching Kiss on the Gene Simmons side too. It was kind of interesting. So that was my first incarnation of Kiss live, was that. So it's always kind of stuck with me, and I've seen him several times since then. I remember a few years ago I took the whole family, I bought tickets for everyone, and we all went and watched Kiss, and that's when they're doing their really American fireworks, the flag and all that stuff on the stage tour. I can't remember what the name of that one was. That was awesome, just to be able to take everybody to see them. And the very last show I saw before the whole lockdown and everything was actually Kiss, and I didn't get to see them on the farewell tour, but that's one of the last shows I saw for a very long time, and just they put on a great show. I don't care, love them or hate them, they put on a great show. But anyway, I haven't said much about this yet. The sound quality is great. It's off the soundboard. I noticed one thing about it is that the pace of the songs, the tempo is very fast. It seems like they up the tempo, trying to get maybe a little bit higher energy going. But right off the bat, songs like Detroit Rock City and even Cold Gin's, like right there in the very beginning, these songs, I think maybe benefit from being a little bit slower, and it was just weird hearing them that fast. And also the second song in fits like a glove. Just a strange song to choose to throw in. I mean, of all the songs that they have, they threw that one in, and like the songs that are excluded, like I actually already mentioned, Shout It Out Loud, they didn't do I Was Made for Loving You, like nothing along those lines in here. Shock Me, nothing like that was on here. It was really geared towards 80s songs. There wasn't a whole lot from earlier stuff on here at all. There's aside from a few, like obviously they had to do Rock and Roll All Night, and there was I Still Love You in there, War Machine. Other than that, like I mentioned, Detroit Rock City and Cold Gin, there was nothing from earlier in their career in this set at all. And like fourth, if you want to call it song in, you got Paul Stanley doing the guitar solo. He does a little bit of chanting there, and then they do All Night, and then immediately into Eric Carr's drum solo, which is very long. I think it's close to 10 minutes long on here. I didn't really look at the time on that, but it seemed very long. And great solo. I actually met Eric Carr at that show, by the way. The only member of the band I actually met. Coolest dude in the world. He signed my autograph. I was probably I think I was about 20 years old or so, and man, what a cool dude. And that's a tragic loss there, of course, many years ago still, but I just remember meeting him, thinking he was one of the coolest guys I ever met. So that was always a nice thing to remember. But then it goes into War Machine, which is kind of a classic. I think they've pretty much been doing that one all along. Great version of I Still Love You. This is where it gets a little funny too. I Still Love You, they actually did that one very well. It's slower, like it should be, but then it kicks into Under the Gun. Another really strange song choice there, by the way, which is probably the fastest song in this whole set, and it just was really jarring. It didn't flow well at all, I didn't think. But this is a weird point, I think, for these guys. They're still trying to figure out things in the 80s at this point. And they get Bruce's solo into Tears Are Falling, which I actually really like that song. It's probably the weakest performance in this whole set, though. Paul, when I said they didn't edit anything, they didn't fix anything in this song, and probably the weakest vocal on this whole thing was in that song. And then right into Gene's solo. It's like, man, they all got their chances, and there wasn't much break in between solos. There's like 20 minutes of this thing, their solos, and not being like mean or anything, but Paul and Gene's solos are more of them just making a lot of noise. I hate to say it like that, but I don't know how to explain it. And I Love It Loud, which, concert classic. I think they've been doing that one pretty much all along. And then a really weird intro to Love Gun with Paul yelling at the crowd and talking about sexual things with no response. You could hear it all coming back into that song, into a very long version of Rock and Roll All Night, which is cool. I mean, you expected to hear that one. The surprising, because that's kind of the closing song for a lot of shows. I don't know, in the 80s here when they were doing this stuff, how often. I don't remember much about watching those, because I saw them on the Hot Shade tour twice. I don't remember anything about what song order or what songs they did. Honestly, that was 30 some years ago. I don't remember if they ended the Rock and Roll All Night after that or not, but after that they did Heaven's on Fire. Cool, big song. And then they did a weird thing with Oh Susanna, and they ended with Lick It Up, of all things. I just loved the song. I remember singing along to it several times at several of their shows. great stadium song. I actually think it's just a great anthemic song to be doing live. So it's, I guess it's cool and end with. It just seemed strange. So nothing really bad to say about this set. I thought maybe the song choice was weird. There's a couple of them that, like I mentioned, that I don't know why they did them live, but and left a couple other ones out. The flow of it was really strange, but it's just fun hearing an actual live show. It just seemed like they were trying to like figure out, maybe at this point in the tour, the flow of things, and they hadn't quite got it down quite yet. Performance was great. Very musically, like instrumentally, great performances. When you get excited live, I know how things go. The vocals seem to suffer sometimes. That was apparent here a few times, not like a lot, not a super abundant amount of things went wrong here at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. But that was the only time you ever really noticed much of anything happening. But cool listen. If you're a Kiss fan, you're going to love this. I'm a Kiss fan. I actually still loved it, even though I'm nitpicking a little bit here. And I really did enjoy it. And I think I missed a couple of these other ones here because I actually went to their site and I noticed a couple. I was like, I don't think I have the Donington one. And then I think there was one other one I missed here somewhere. So probably going to have to go back and get them. It's hard keeping track of all this stuff. It really is. There's so much music coming out. It's really hard to keep track of these sometimes. But I think I babbled long enough about this one. If any of you guys want to make any comments about you've heard this or there's other bootlegs this era, or if they change the set list up or whatever you want to mention, as always, feel free. And because that's all just opinion anyway. This is just my opinion, and if you got different opinion, it's welcome here as well. And like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive. As always, I ask that because if they're going to keep releasing this kind of stuff, I still want to hear it. I really like this era of the band too. It's kind of nostalgic for me in particular because it's, like I said, when I kind of discovered the band and really started getting into them was right around the Bruce Kulick era. So I always think it's cool to hear what they were doing around that time frame, and I enjoyed this. So until the next one, and until next time, we'll see you.